the way in which it went down was nothing short of remarkable. I've had a very brief opportunity to speak with him. He's doing well. He's very thankful for all of the support. He basically expresses he defaulted to his training under the circumstance, and we're doing anything and everything to make sure that his well-being is looked after.
And that was Toronto Police Chief Mark Saunders speaking about the actions of the officer who arrested the suspect in yesterday's van attack on Yonge Street. And he is the subject of a Maclean's article by Scott Gilmore, and he joins us now via Skype from Ottawa. So let's talk about this cop. He's being hailed a hero on Twitter, on social media. His name is Constable Ken Lam. What were your observations of all the videos that were posted of this takedown?
You know, it's not often that we get to see these confrontations, these vehicle rampages, how they end. Typically, they end in a gun battle, in the death of whoever the suspect is. And so for us to see it almost live, this interaction where this officer showed such incredible, I'm not sure if it was compassion or bravery, but where he refused to shoot the suspect, even when the suspect was begging him to do it, it was a remarkable moment.
And I think that's why so many people are struck by this video, especially people who are watching this video in the U.S., because often police are criticized for shooting first and asking questions later. And you pointed out in your article that this interaction was a total of 37 seconds.
That's right. In fact, you know, I'm actually, Francis, I'm not in Ottawa today. I'm in New York.
Oh, you are? Okay.
And that's what they're talking about in New York. When they're talking about Toronto, they're talking about Constable Lam. And on CNN, there is incredulous security experts and police experts who literally cannot understand how this takedown happened. It doesn't follow any of their normal rules. I was on NPR. They were asking me the same thing. And they were asking me, what does it mean in terms of the way Canada looks at violence and looks at the role of the police versus the United States? And there's a long conversation to be had there, but that remarkable moment with Constable Lam, it is very illustrative.
And let's talk about that moment. Let's dive deep into it a little bit, because we saw the suspect almost baiting the officer, making a motion, like a sling action motion with his arm there. And he was also saying, go ahead, shoot me.
Yeah, absolutely. He was begging to be shot. He had probably thought through the scenario of this attack in his head, and he had imagined that it was going to end with his death at the hands of the police. You know, a slow motion gunfight, and you can actually hear the frustration in the driver's voice when he doesn't get shot. He repeats more than once, "I have a gun. I have a gun in my pocket. Shoot me." And Lam won't do it. Lam continues to keep his cool, and thankfully we have the arrest.
You know, there was good lighting. This was in the middle of the afternoon. Is it possible that the officer knew that the suspect was not carrying a gun?
It's quite possible. But, you know, even under those circumstances, you've just heard over the radio that there's been a mass attack, that people are down. You see this van pull up with damage on the front grille. The suspect leaps out of the van. You don't know if the van is a bomb. You don't know if the suspect is carrying a bomb. You see something in his hand. Regardless of how close he was, and regardless of the lighting, the fact that he didn't pull that trigger, that he waited, that he actually went back to his squad car to turn off the siren so he could hear the suspect, that shows unbelievable calm under pressure.
And restraint. He was alone in that situation. The officer, from all accounts, from all the different vantage points of this video, he was alone with his unmarked squad car.
Yeah, and in fact, there's a new video that has just come out in the last few minutes that shows him asking another cameraman, what's the name of this street?
Wow, incredible. Other people in Toronto, especially because of the Sammy Ateem shooting, are drawing comparisons to that, and that these two are very different scenarios. What do you think makes the difference? Has training improved? Is there a difference in officers' minds now when they approach these high-risk situations?
Well, I think that's a question you're going to have to ask the Toronto police. But I can say as an observer and a close observer of not only the cases in Canada, but I often write about the police shootings in the United States, that what drew this out, or what made this difference, was the fact that it took place over 37 seconds, which seems like a short period of time, but usually in these interactions, that's actually, they are wrapped up in gunfire, unfortunately, often in just a few seconds. And what Lam did is he took the time to understand what was going on. He took the time to turn off his siren so that the suspect could hear him and he could hear the suspect. And he was able to think his way through this encounter. And I think that's why it ended the way it did.
All right, Scott, thank you for joining us. Appreciate your time.
My pleasure, Francis.
And you can read the Maclean's article right now by going to macleans.ca.